Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. And tonight we'll be discussing all the bad result we had on the weekend. So make sure you tune in, like, share, and subscribe to the Man United Agenda. Hello, everyone. It is Monday night, and it is the Top Show. And as always, we're joined by Monday, Mr. B, OS, and SHAH. And guys, it's that Monday feeling after the weekend. So, if you're liking, please like, please share, please subscribe to the Man United Agenda on the road to 1K subscribers. And also remember, if you do subscribe to us, and once we hit the 1K mark, we'll be giving you a chance to win a Bruno Fernandes signed autograph. Also, remember, leave your comments in the YouTube link afterwards, and we'll get back to you as well, guys. We do get back to you. So let's start off first. How is everyone feeling after Saturday? So go on, tell us, guys. Mr. B, are you feeling after Saturday's result?
I have no control over Ollie and his madness. So my weekend was good. My team won. So I'll just accept that. I'm waiting for the week when both my team and Man United win. Then Studs Up would be one big glorious party. But at the moment, when one wins, the other one doesn't. So yeah, Ollie, thanks.
On Monday, how are you feeling after the result?
Yeah, I feel fine. No big issue. We have a lot of time to process everything. I think it's good in a way because our expectations are really high these days. So we expect to win. We've got a great squad. And yeah, games like that and the last few games we've had haven't been the best performance-wise. As OS said from the start of the season, he was talking about the performance of certain games. It's still not great, even though we got the wins. But the expectation is high for all fans. So there's going to be a lot of feeling out there about the results. Even when we draw, people are calling it a loss.
Yeah. OS, and obviously like talking to our Monday at the moment and listening to his point of view, as Man United fans, a draw is a loss, really and truly, because the expectation level for the amount of money has been spent is up there now. It's not sort of where we sit and we think, yeah, finish top four, we're right.
You know what? I mean, I give credit to Mr. B. I mean, you feel good. It's good that you feel like that. I'm frustrated. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm frustrated because I think we were the first game of the weekend, right? So, yes. You know, when your team plays the first game of the weekend, you kind of set the tone for the rest of the games when you're watching the rest of the games. And when we drop points, when we know this was a weekend when our opponents were going to drop points, you know, City were playing Liverpool. One of them was bound to drop points, you know, and we don't capitalize, you know, and this is the concern, you know, and some people may say, Matt, you know, we're still third or we're joint second or whatever it is. But look at the opposition we've played, and look at the opposition that City have played already, that Liverpool have played already. You know, it's a concern for me. That's how I look at it. I mean, I'm not, you know, giving up everything right now. It's still very early. It's only 7 games, but I'm concerned. Now the real work starts. We have some serious fixtures coming up.
SHAH, I know you were at the game, but we don't want to talk too much about the game yet. We want to just get your feelings about how you're feeling this week after the weekend, basically.
Disappointed. The McFred situation is really getting me down. And after that, well, we're not going to talk about what I saw at the game because, you know, I'm surprised that I weren't carried out on a stretcher myself. But, you know, there was some positives. And I think, to be honest with you, there was a new back four. There was different, you know, winging options. And also Cavani starting as well, which was something that was a bit of a difference for what we had for the last few games. So I think the changes should have been enough, but personally speaking, I think it's still early on in the season. We're still there or thereabouts. So let's not get too carried away. Personally, that's what I think.
And you're right with that. You can't really truly get carried away. There's only, like we said, there's 7 games played this season. The real work's going to start once this international breaks up. But then obviously, again, we go in, we play, I think, about 3 games or so, and then there's another international break. So it's almost stop-start season for us. But what I think my frustration is on the weekend is the amount of players got rested. Now, that is a concern. I think as a club, yes, we can rest players. Yes, we can rotate players, but we don't need to rest and rotate players as frequent as we do, because it is a massive, and it does, every time we do this whole rotation where we drop 5 or 6 players, it just seems like it never, ever, ever works. But listen, guys, we can't take anything away from Rafa Benitez. We should have beaten Everton on stats, on the eye. But unfortunately, their battle, they fought hard. They had 2 key players out. So it sort of gives them a bit more confidence, where we're sitting there like all doom and gloom. But like I always said, we can't be doom and gloom. It's only 7 games of the season on Monday.
Look, we talk about these things, and if someone's feeling a bit sore, we sort of soothe them back to reality, with these things. Like you say, it is only 7 games gone. Put a little plaster on, get over it. We've got an international break now where we can reflect and think about our side. So there's a lot of opinions going around at the moment. Do we play 4-3-3? Do we play Ronaldo? Should we drop Ronaldo? How's Ronaldo getting on? Had he had impact? How's the defense getting on? Look, we've got a good squad. This is the main thing. I'm happy. I'm more excited than I've ever been based on the potential of what this squad can really do. So when it comes to the crunch, I mean, to be honest, we haven't had the hardest games at the moment, but in the next coming month or so, we're going to be really tested. So I think to really evaluate how we're really getting on and how we're doing under pressure, we will soon find out in a month's time, after all these games have gone by, Champions League, crucial games at Atalanta, we've got Liverpool, we've got Chelsea, Man City, all these games coming up. And that's when that would be a true reflection about what we can do. And the issues that we're concerned about now, if they're going to be highlighted then, we probably won't win. But I'm quite confident going into these games, sort of being on the back foot and being a bit of an underdog, that we could actually do something. So I'm waiting. I'm going to pass judgment after these next 6 games or so, because it's going to be very difficult. And that's when we see, as character, who stands up and who's going to be counted. So that's what I'm looking forward to the next 6 games.
My thing is, and this is a question. Who are we resting players for? Like, are we resting players for the international teams? Like, it's 1 game before the international break. Who else rested that many players in any of the other teams? I didn't get that. Let's just say there was a logical reason why we rested players. Next question for me then becomes the players that actually came in. Like, you don't drop an informed Ronaldo who scored 5 goals in however games, and then you didn't bring in Lingard, who Lingard's been on form. Like, if anything, Lingard should have started. So there was a lot of questions for me that made no sense. There was a lot of decisions that made no sense for me at the weekend that I've been pondering all over the weekend, because I understand you guys say that it's good to change because we have a big squad and everything like this, but I think all of these changes can only make sense if there's a system in place that everybody's bought into, that they come into that system and they do their job. If there's none of that, people are just coming in, and I say my famous phrase, people come in and it's like, inshallah, let's go out there and do what we can, and hope we get a result. And it's not going to work every game. I know we dropped points against Villa and Everton, and we should have beaten them, but we lost against Villa and we lost against and we drew against Southampton. So it's a trend. It's not something that's just happening. It's a trend, and that hopefully we fix that soon. I agree with you on Monday that when we're on the back foot, we react better than when the expectation is that we blow teams away. So, and usually we put better against the big teams as well. So I'm hoping that is the case going into the next 7, 8 games or whatever it is. I don't know. What do you think? Do you agree?
He still look angry, doesn't he? Still look angry.
You know
Come on,
what?
Mr. B. I know your team lost, but Man United drew. Come on, it's not that bad.
You
Come
know
on.
what? My team won actually. Get it
Yeah,
right.
we
Sorry, I
won.
take it back.
This is
You
the
start
Man
coaching
this
Man
is the
United.
this is the Man United vex face now, isn't it? Look, the thing is, I just don't think he's. We talk about we made 11 changes for the Coca-Cola Cup.
I love the Coca-Cola League Cup.
Oh, not Coca. Sorry, League. Sorry,
Man brought it
League
back.
Cup. Sorry, man. League Cup. But we all knew it was too much changes. We said at the time, if you're going to make changes, you make maybe 2 or 3 so that you've still got the spine and you're slotting in players. The fact that he made 5, that's half the team. Now, we don't know. Obviously, we don't know the reasons why. Me personally, I didn't have a problem with Cavani starting because Cristiano Ronaldo don't press. Let's be honest. And if that is how Oli wanted to start the game, not an issue. The Martial starting, he scored, but yep, again, maybe Lingard. I think Lingard should have started. Greenwood on the right is doing my nutting. I love Greenwood to bits, but he's not a right-sided player. You've got them two in centre midfield who, Shaw played. I think Shaw was injured, but then was Telles injured? Could he have not trusted Dalot to play? These are the stuff that I just think right now, Oli has a lack of trust in certain players, and I'm beginning to think that maybe players are now having a lack of trust in the process that maybe Oli is showing them to do. The changes he's making are wrong. We look at it on the outside and we're saying to ourselves, well, hold on a minute. Why has he made that change? These are players who are training every week, every day. Maybe they're thinking the same thing now. What's this guy under? Shah, what are you telling me?
I think the changes were there because then the squad rotation needed to be done. When Oli probably heard the news of Everton's absentees of players like Calvert-Lewin, he probably felt a little bit confident that Lindelof, Varane would be able to handle those situations in the centre of the park. And then obviously, Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, they are our go-to players for that positions. I think from everything that I've seen on the match and everything afterwards, I do think that Oli made decisions as a manager with a squad that he's got that are potentially all first team players in a squad. You got international captain of Sweden who's sitting on the bench, who's now got an appearance. You got Cavani who hasn't had a start because he's come back from, there's a lot of things that he has to manage, and he has to get his squad ready for what's going to be in October, November. When we're going to need all these players on point mentally, they need to be sharp. So I think he's already played the players that probably needed a rest before the international break because they know that they're going to play both those games, or maybe even I think, is it 3 games this international break or is it 2?
2.
It's 2, right? So there's going to be, potentially 90 minutes each of those players that are going to start or maybe even get there. So I think he's done it in a way that he wanted to manage it for the squad that we have. Personally, that's what I think.
Sure. So you said you think he managed the game. Obviously, I'm not the manager of Man United. None of us are manager of Man United. But surely a great manager once said, club over country. What's more important? Club over country. Are you going to rest these top players for them to go into playing Ronaldo, playing for Portugal, and the money and the wages we're paying him to rest him so he can go play for Portugal for the next 2 games? And again, what you find as well with certain players, they go on international duty and they come back injured. So that then, where we could have picked up the 3 points, they could come back injured. And now that could be a massive devastation to us. It could be devastating to us. So for me, honestly, tactically, and with the players that he went and rotated, Pogba, why are we resting Pogba? Why are we resting? It is terrible. Why are we resting these guys when we don't need to? We do not need to do it. You mute.
Just to add to your point, my bad. Just to add to your point, Ronaldo has, for Portugal, they have Qatar first, and then they have Ireland. He doesn't have to play against Qatar. He is the manager of that team. He can say, I'm resting myself in Qatar and I'm playing in Ireland. You know what I mean? We should not be thinking about international games. We should not be thinking about who, you know, their benefits. We should rest for them. Like, we should be thinking about Manchester United. And I don't think Ole was thinking about international games. I just think he was trying to be too clever. He was trying to, I'm going to rest Ronaldo. He knows if you rest Ronaldo, you're going to have the pressure of bringing him on at one point in the game. And it's exactly what happened. He had the pressure of bringing him on over a really Cavani who was playing very well in that game. He was pressing. He was doing everything. So you took all of that work off. You brought Ronaldo who won't press. And now you've just put yourself in an even worse situation. You know, starting Ronaldo at the beginning would have been less pressure for him. It's like he does things that make life worse for himself.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I didn't get.
But
Monday,
he's gonna do those things, right? OS. He's gonna come out. He's gonna be controversial to maybe the way that we're thinking, the way that we're feeling, just purely because we're not managing 24 players.
No. Yeah.
Right, we're not motivating 24 individuals. We're sitting there commenting on who our starting 11 should be every game. Right,
Yeah.
that's what we are. Right, but the thing is, he's dealing with these players every day, the day-to-day interaction, and that's why I think like he's looked at Martial. Martial's had bad form. He's had bad press, and you know what? He scored a goal, and for him, that's going to change him for that little moment, but. No, I'm saying like for that moment, it's gonna be a little bit of pressure off his back. He scored a goal bonus mentally. You know what? He's been able to come out of that game with a goal. He's come on Ronaldo's come on to try and make the difference, obviously. But I'm just trying to say that's the kind of difference nowadays with football compared to always choosing your best 11. You've got to manage personalities and people, and that's what I think Ole's done. All right,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. You have to manage them, but you have to also manage properly. That's my thing, and I don't think he's managing it properly. And it's something he has to get. It's something that he has to work out. But you can't be trying to please everyone at the same time too. Yeah. If you've got too big of a squad that you can't trust, it's your fault. You know, he's put this squad together. Not everybody, but majority of the squad he put together. But there's 2 weeks. That's why I don't get. There's 2 weeks of a break. You don't have to rotate now. You know, when you come back, that's when the rotation is going to start because it's games every 3 days.
Yeah, I do agree with OS about we didn't need to really rest players. We should have gone out there for the victory. That was the most important thing, the 3 points. And even if Ronaldo starts and he gets tired, then you can take him off. You've got quality to come on. One thing that bugs me a little bit is that last season he wasn't rotating the squad. He was always playing the strongest squad he could, or what he felt was the strongest squad. This season, we've seen Klopp, for example, rotate. We've seen Chelsea, they rotate their players a little bit. And Man City have done that as well in the Cups. We've seen a lot of rotation there. So I think maybe Ole's trying to follow suit. But where he isn't, he's been a bit selective with his rotation because a lot of fans are actually calling for certain players to play. And they're still not getting games. So it's like the big personalities. He said, all right, I'll take off Ronaldo. You can't accuse me of not being tough or not being true. But he's still not playing, say, Donny van der Beek. And he still had the opportunity maybe to play the left back, Telles, or to play Dalot. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And these are things like Shah was saying would give confidence. Run of games gives people confidence. And it's not saying make 4 or 5 changes. I'm just making a few, tweak it here and there, couple of weeks and bring players in so they feel a part of the squad. And when you got that harmony as part of the squad, as Mr. B would tell you, managing his team, when you got a lot of harmony in your squad, it does improve morale. We don't want to see like what we're seeing now. We're seeing a bit of disharmony with what happened with Van der Beek. It's highlighted. It's something minor as far as I'm concerned. Shows a bit of passion, but it's highlighted that he's like, oh my God, I didn't get on the pitch and that kind of thing. I expect that from players, you know, but to remove that, balance it out, have a bit of squad rotation, but not just that. The main thing is when these players do come in, they're coming into a well-oiled system that is playing well. Because my main issue is on Sunday, I sat through a high-tech game of football between Liverpool and Man City, and I'm sitting there thinking, wow, they talk about CDMs, we talk about CDMs. We're watching two great CDMs there. Rodri, look at the tackle he done at Fabinho. He doesn't really move around the pitch like we want hard workers, runners in midfield. When Rodri's just popping it off, just standing there, pop, and strolling. If you watch him, he's strolling throughout the game. And then we say, oh, Matic can't play because he takes 3 games a week. Because we're in our minds like, we want runners or we want hard workers. That's just spoiling our whole football. Let's have a baller in there. Look at Rodri, look at Fabinho. I know Fabinho's fitter and everything else, but he does a good job. He doesn't have to, he knows his position, so he's never caught out of position so much, you know? But anyway, that's the measuring stick for us, what we saw on Sunday. Mr. B, I know you want to chip in. Did you agree with me about Man City and Liverpool?
I did. And even the Champions League game the week before, who did Liverpool play? Porto.
Yeah.
And you know, you sit down and you watch a game, and on Monday, I'm going to be honest, right? Before I came on the show, before I linked up with you, from day one, you said to me, Ollie's got no pattern of play. And my thing was, man, we're winning games. What's this guy chatting about? But the more that I think about it and the more I see, I look at Brighton aren't even a Man City or Liverpool, but
Brentford.
Basuma hasn't been playing, and there's been no change to what they've done. They sold their second best defender for £50 million. Yeah, and it hasn't changed what they've done.
Yeah.
So that is coaching.
100%.
So now understand what you're saying when you're saying there's no style of play. There's no philosophy.
Yeah.
I think there is a style of play, but it's not what we want to see as United fans. Now, that style of play involves 2 wankers as our double pivot. Now, Ollie, that is his. I'm sorry, but you have Paul Pogba, you have Fred, and you have McTominay. Now, even on FIFA, even the blindest of blind men, we talk about EA Sports games, you can see the stats. So I don't understand what he wants from his central midfield, those 2 central midfielders. And if you don't have that as a base, as my friend MAISEY says, talk about burgers, there's no meat in the burger. It's all bread and lettuce and salad. This is MAISEY's analysis.
And a couple of gherkins.
Yeah, right. We've got enough gherkins. So right now, it is causing, I think it's just causing disharmony because you have players who know they're better than certain other players.
In burger talk, is putting us in a pickle. We ain't got the sauce.
We're
enough burger puns.
Our identity, I don't think Ollie doesn't have. As I said on Monday, the more I see, the more I feel that he doesn't have that identity. Solo, come and tell me what you think about his style of play, man.
You don't want to ask me that one.
Oh, I do.
To be honest with you, I'm going to go back to SHAH, and I'm going to say SHAH said about, obviously, when we look at Everton and we saw they didn't have a certain player playing. So in his head, he's thinking about the rotation, how we're going to rotate players. Now, I've always said it, and I'll keep saying it. When you look at Pep Guardiola, when you look at Klopp, when they do rotation, they may rotate 2 players, 3 as a push. When it comes to 5 players at a time, he will not rotate. Yeah? And the reason why he won't rotate, also, it pains me to say, but yesterday when I was watching Man City and watching Liverpool, I was just looking at them and I was thinking, the amount of money we've spent on players, and now when I look at Man United squad, I look at it as a bunch of individuals now. I'm actually looking at our squad and thinking, we're not a team. All we're waiting for is one moment of brilliance, and that is all we're waiting for. One moment of brilliance, and that's how we play football. We've got no style of play. We've got no philosopher in football. All we're doing is waiting for a lucky goal or something sensational. That's it. Right now, looking at it, we are in. Look, listen, we've got time, 7 games played. So don't get way ahead of ourselves and thinking, let's get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think after this international break, him and his coaching staff got to sit down, or while the guys are in international break, they've got to sit down and think, right, what are we going to do differently to make sure we don't go through these rough situation now? Because for me, right at the beginning of the season, when we did our show, I said I wanted maximum points from these games. At the moment, we haven't got maximum points, and we lost against Young Boys. We drew against Southampton. We're very lucky against Wolves. We played sort of Villarreal, a game again, very lucky in winning. It's almost the buck needs to stop now, and every single player need to look at themselves. Ole has got to take some responsibility, but also the players need to take responsibility as well. Again, are the players playing for Ole, or I'm not saying they're not playing for Ole, but it just seems like what Monday was saying, there's a bit disheartened there and thereabouts, where there's players who's certain level above other players not getting the opportunity at all to go and feature. And again, like what SHAH said, SHAH was going well about the rotation, putting confidence in sort of Martial. But what about the confidence in Telles?
I think the more.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think the more I think about it, I think it's harsh to say that Ole doesn't have a style of play or tactics. I think he does have a style of play. I just think his style of play, it doesn't work against small teams. You know, it works against the bigger teams, and it has in the past. His style of play is counter-attacking football. That's what he does. You know, and it may not be the best counter-attacking style of play football around, but that's what he likes, and that's what he uses. He uses the pace of the players that we have in our attacking system. But as soon as we come across anybody who puts all of the defense back, who puts 2 lines of low block, it's game over. You know, and there's no plan B. So I think that's the issue we have right now. Like we need, for Man United, counter-attacking football is not good enough. That's basically what it is.
OS. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it's all right playing counter-attacking. But when we beat Real Sociedad, for example, because the coach was naive, he played a high line, and that was easy for us when getting behind. It's impossible for us to get in behind teams or play in front of teams and break them down when we've got players like with the poor ability that they have. We've got runners in midfield. I'd rather play a Pogba and a Matic or someone else. Then you give yourself more opportunity to break teams down. Also, you can bring Bruno, drop him off a little deeper, and try and break things down. You can bring the fullbacks into play. Look at Liverpool. Look at the way they play. Their fullbacks are always bombing on because they know they can receive the ball. It's like plays like that. I just want to see more patterns of play where we've got an opportunity to break teams down. At the moment, we look a bit lost when we've got the ball in their half. We've had 65% possession for a majority of games over the last 4 or 5 games. We've had 65% possession and not used the ball dynamically, you know, or effectively. And we've really struggled to force goals. Like Solo was saying, we're relying on sort of, look at the West Ham game, or look at the last minute against Villarreal. We're relying on sort of, or look at even the Southampton equaliser. We're trying to force goals. There's no pattern of play like that. That's my issue with him. It's always been, there's nothing to fall back on.
I completely get you. Like, you know, one of your points you mentioned, you know, you want the fullbacks to keep bombing forward. But if you look, in order to do that, you need to make sure you protect the space that they leave behind. If you look at the goals that we conceded in the last, 2-3 games, a lot of that is us not having Shaw back where he's supposed to be. They've got behind there and they've scored. You know, and there's been chances where they got behind and missed, and it could have been worse. So maybe Ollie's looking at it thinking, I want to do this, but I keep getting punished every time I do this, and he doesn't know how to work that. So then
I think for that to solve, to solve that situation is like, if you've got 65% possession, it's when we give the ball away and what position we're going to be in. So if you can hold it, he's got apparently 2 holding midfielders or 2 sort of workers in midfield. They're the ones who are out of position. Fred's always ahead of the ball. He pops into players and then runs ahead. Say, no, just stay. That's why Rodri, when Man City give the ball away, you might suggest that their fullbacks bomb on. But when they give the ball away, they always seem to be in shape. That's the main thing. We don't have the intelligence to be in shape in that respect.
I agree.
So when we're saying about Donny van der Beek, I think he's got the intelligence. Playing him as a 6, for example, he would know, as Romeo was saying, play Donny van der Beek, put him as a 6, and he would just be in position. Like, we're getting broken on. We're getting broken on time and time again because players are ahead of the ball or out of position. I don't know what you think, Mr. B. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. I can't hear you, Mr. B. So, yeah.
OMONDI, the formation. It's the formation that you would prefer is the same formation or 4-3-3.
I'll play an anchor man and Bruno and Pogba.
Right, so you're really going to be playing 4-3-3 then? Is this what
4-1-2? Yeah. An anchor man with two.
Yeah. 1 holding.
Yeah.
2 8. Right.
Yeah.
Do you think Ole can coach that in the players? My issue with that is the players we have in our squad, I actually think would be more suited to play in the 4-3-3. The problem I have is we don't have players who keep possession of the football. When Man City play in any formation, they don't give the opposition the football.
Yeah,
hallelujah.
We constantly give the opposition the ball. So I feel 4-3-3 would be our best formation. But because we don't hold on to the ball, we lose the ball in stupid positions. Our CDM will lose the football. And we're gone.
Well, look who it is.
Right. At the moment, Manchester United are playing with 2 CDMs. We haven't kept a clean sheet at Old Trafford for 18 games, bruv.
Yeah.
Since the 1-0 against West Ham in March, yeah? 18
and on Monday, what do you always say? 1-0.
Yeah.
Right. So we're playing with 2 defensive midfielders who can't defend.
Yeah.
So why are we playing with them? We may as well. We're losing. To me, we're losing a position up front by playing 2 of them two. That's my opinion.
But the thing is, right, so Bruno, for example, I think he's cheating. He's got to come back and start deeper, and we build as a team, not trying to pick him out from a distance, like 30 yards, where he's playing a lot on their defensive line. That's an issue for me. So drop him back, get our more compact, and build as a team, and then play him. If you play an anchor man with Bruno and Pogba in there, I think we're going to have more quality of possession of the ball, more distribution of the ball. What do you think, Shah?
Personally speaking, I like Pogba and Matic. I'm with you. Out the squad we've got, Pogba and Matic need to play as that middle 2. If we're going to play with the 2, right? 4-3-3. I'd love to see 4-3-3, but I think we know that we haven't got the squad at the moment where it needs to be for them to have the confidence to play it. So let's go with what we've got. 4-2-3-1 is what he's playing. I don't like Pogba playing anything on that left-hand side. If we've got those wingers, we've not in a bad way, but just in a way that we know he can play there. He's played and he's scored some goals. He's assists. He can cross the ball, right? Technically, he's capable to do that. But I think the 4-2 with Matic and Pogba is absolutely perfect, like for what we need. And if anything, if he can play that with Bruno, OMONDI, you're taking the words out of my mouth, man. What can I say? But Bruno, frustrating because although he does chase back, he's having to chase back sometimes because of his mistake. In that final third pass where he's looking to do a neat little pass where he doesn't need to, there's other options. And I think that's the other thing as well. We've got to remember some of these players are playing together, learning each other's space, awareness, where they're going to be, where their runs are going to be as well.
Sorry, just before OS, I'm going to ask you this. So I don't agree. I think we can play Matic as the anchor man. He retains the ball. He's big and strong. He's got good composure on the ball. Look at Rodri. Who's he telling me he can't be coached to do what Rodri does? That I believe he can. And then play Pogba and Bruno and get them more disciplined to play more. These guys are the ones who can be pinging the ball, popping the ball, and dictating the style of play. What do you think, OS, to that?
In order to do that, I agree with you. I think Matic can do that role. I think Matic is the best we have, to be honest with you, in terms of holding the ball. But I don't trust Bruno on the ball. I know it's crazy to say Bruno loses the ball more than majority of our players on that pitch. Like in terms of, if we're talking about dictating, if we're talking about a midfield that is going to control the game, I don't see Bruno doing that. Pogba can do that, but I don't want Pogba anywhere close to the defense.
But they're both similar, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. And when Pogba's close to the defense, I have heart attacks all the time when he gets the ball in front of the box. So I agree with you that Matic can play that lone role, but then the issue becomes who plays with him, because I don't believe either they're being coached to hold the ball properly, or I know that Bruno has the quality to hold the ball. I know Pogba also does, but I don't know if that's what they're being told to do because we don't see it. And when they try and do it, Bruno loses the ball. And I think Pogba and Matic are the two best ones we have that try and retain the ball and dictate.
Can I just butt in? Sorry, Solo. Can I just butt in? Can I say something to you? We're talking about Matic playing in games. Matic can't physically play 2 games a week. So what are we doing? Are we then... I understand what OMONDI is going to say. We are central midfielders to be run. And there's a certain amount of physical strain that a person of his age, football-wise, his body's going to take. I'm not sure he can physically play 2 games a week. Now, if that's the case, would we then be choosing him for the so-called more important games? Then you're still going to have either Fred or McTominay. My issue again is the fact that you're saying about these players not being able to fall into, he's rotating too much. If you have a system that is being played in training, surely when players fall into that system, they should know what they're doing.
Yeah. Just to stop. Right, this is the thing. It's I don't know where it comes from. Matic can't play 2 or 3 games. Right, he's 32. Sergio Busquets, he strolls around the pitch. Tell me when he goes on sprints or whatever, because he's always in shape. And he's got the technique. You play into. He's got the technique to hold the ball, won't lose it. And that's sort of it. I'm thinking for now, Matic can do that. You don't have to be sprinting up and down. You don't have to be doing a McTominay to prove to the fans that you're man of the match. I heard this so many times recently. McTominay was man of the match in the final against Villarreal. Why? Because he worked hard. He was running. You know, where's the quality? So I'm saying Matic could sit there and pop it around, stroll through the game, just from ball quality.
Can I ask a question as well? And on Monday, I agree with a lot of things you say in the past. I agree with a lot of things you're going to say now as well. But one thing I can concretely agree with you in the last couple of weeks is Matic needs to play more game. He needs to play more football. And when you go back and everyone's saying Matic can't do this, I was watching highlights of Michael Carrick. How old was Michael Carrick playing in that place? What, 35, 36 years old? Yeah. So it can happen. It can work.
All these guys were playing under a manager who knew what he was doing and under a system that worked for everybody.
Well, the thing is,
you bring Carrick in today. You bring Carrick into today's team, Carrick will suffer.
Well, he's old now, isn't he?
No.
He's not a Paul Scholes. He can't come back and win the Premier League, can he?
Yeah.
Guys, let's hit some of these comments, guys. Remember, if you're liking, please like, please share, please subscribe. We're on the road to 1K subscribers. When we hit that 1K, we'll be giving you the chance to win yourself a Bruno Fernandes signed football shirt. I promise you it's genuine as well. And also, leave your comments after the show in the YouTube link, and we'll get back to you as well. So,
OMONDI, over to you. Just going to focus on some key comments here that I think are worth talking about. First one is this. We've got the same record as Man City. My issue with this is that Man City have an identity, a brand of football. They beat Chelsea, they beat and they drew with Liverpool the other day. So what do you guys think?
Can I just answer that one? The problem I think we've got is that Man City have played Liverpool and Chelsea
and Tottenham.
Exactly.
We have played nobody. So
apart from we're going to play nobody on the 24th.
Yeah, a big nobody on the 24th. But the fact that we've now got to play a set of hard games. If we come out of those hard games and we're still level on points with Man City, which none of us here believe that we will be. Let's be honest. No matter how optimistic we are, do we think we're going to take the same points as Man City in the next month?
No, but I'm still confident. It's only 7 games played. I'm still confident we will pick up. We might drop 2 points. 3 points, maybe.
Next important one I felt was about squad rotation. Romeo, he said Ole needs to start Lingard. This is about form and 2 times he's been subbed. He's been involved in 3 goals. Shah, what do you think about that?
I always feel that Jesse's wants to play his heart out when he comes.
Sorry, can I interrupt? Can you get some perspective on his name, please? Messi Lingard.
Oh, sorry. Of course.
There's a point, didn't he? He had a better goal rate than Messi at the start of the season. Which is brilliant. Mr. B's gone.
Oh God, that is funny.
I think Lingard should play. I think Lingard deserves to play. He's one of our most informed players right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's about squad rotation and form as well. So that's really important. Connor chipped in, said 4-3-3 is the best formation position. Kessie from Milan is on his last year and won't resign. Won't resign for AC Milan. Bring him in and he was set on the midfield. What do you guys think of Kessie? We played against him last year.
Not a lot of people rate him, but I've been watching him and I think he's half decent. I think he's better than what we have right now. So definitely. Yeah,
I think it's a good year.
Game winners with Mars. How you doing, man? He says, I don't think Man United. He said, I don't think Man United are in a title race, losing against Villa. Young boys drawing to Everton. I feel they're not in the title race because Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City are favourites.
At the moment.
Connor again says the lowest Bruno needs to drop is maybe the exact halfway line, turn and pass and keep moving forward. And another good comment here says having a pivot that stays back sacrifices a player being more forward, which is another reason why I believe we can't get through heavy defensive sides. Sharpening passes and having a lone DM.
I like this guy. Always talk sense.
Just hear about the age, guys. Jem says David Silva showed us all at 35 years old, midfielders capable of improving. Last night, surely Matic could as well.
Yes,
this was playing 2-3 games a week. Where's this come from that he can't play 2-3 games a week? I just don't know. Yank again, Connor says, don't think we fully need a DM that needs to be an amazing defender. I agree. We need one that can be press resistant and make solid passes consistently.
100%.
Nice.
And also the pivot forces both to be sprinting and running a ton, which exactly this is what I'm saying, which causes an older player like Matic to get gassed. That's why he can't play 2 in a week. Like Mr. B says, if we go 4-3-3, I think Matic can slow. Yes.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, game winners with Mars says, if Man United don't win anything this season with a good team, manager has to be sacked. And finally,
man like
Andy Herbert says, a lot of people say this and say that, but I think it might be Ollie's last season if he wins nothing. Yeah. Thanks for the comments, guys. Some good comments,
guys. But again, guys, we go back into it. So, Shah, before we start talking about wrapping up and getting other people involved with what we're doing, you're at the game. So give us like a 2-minute breakdown of what you saw, any progress you saw within that game, or anything you can take away and say, you know what, there is something small what I've watched today.
Sorry. Also, Shah, I don't know, I'm just firing questions as well. What's the feeling like at the ground? Because you're at the ground, you pick up the atmosphere. What's the feeling like from the fans?
And the rumors is, was there any booing? Because apparently there's a couple of booing as well at the end of the final whistle.
Okay, so I'll start with first point. The first point, around what I saw from the game, personally, I saw that Raphael on the left and Shaw going forward and issues and lots of gaps behind our midfield. That right wing was absolutely getting hammered by until Wan-Bissaka goes up. Fred's dropping back. He hasn't got the pace. I mean, Damari Gray, if you've ever seen Damari Gray in real life, he's not a solid, strong attacking forward like that's going to be able to just push someone off. So Fred hasn't got the energy, and especially while he's moving, you go for a mental, a mental kind of thought comes in your head like, I'm going to have to do a tactical foul. That's what any of those midfielders do. You've got one man there, you're going to take him out. He's on the sideline. If you take yellow, take the hit for it. And not seeing that and not seeing Fred in those reaction points was something that I found a bit frustrating. The other positives, obviously, Sancho, I think the midfield, the movement, the ball was nice. There was lots of good positives in terms of trying to attack, trying to keep on pressing on the door. It's not like they weren't trying, It was they were getting broken down. The counter-attack is an issue that we're going to be susceptible to in these sort of formations and these scenarios when we are all going gung-ho and going to attack for it. So atmosphere around the ground, second point, it was nervous. Much like how we've all been on our shows and how we've all been talking in the groups, like, you know, that we're not confident that we're going to say we're going to win this week, you know, because you just don't know what squad Ollie's going to put out. And I think there was a little bit of that. And people, you know, there's still a lot of positivity in terms of Ollie, like being there. The club, the mood, you know, people, the stewards, everyone's still got a buzz that they're excited. Ronaldo's there. There's still a lot of, you know, excitement about what is happening. We're just not seeing the results yet on the pitch. So when the results come, I think we'll all feel a lot different. I know the energy when you go round the stadium, like I've said on the last few shows that have come on and mentioned, it's a good, positive vibe. Everyone's feeling good about. Just the results are always going to put you in an apprehensive mood, right? So I think for that, we have to give credit that Ollie's brought back a feeling of what is like an old Man United feeling, what Man United feels like, you know, we back in the team. So, and I think that's some good things as well. And what was the last question I was again? Sorry.
Booze. Was there any booze?
Oh, the booze.
Not from you, but for the others.
Well, we were right next to the away fans, so
Okay.
So I mean, if I'm honest, I didn't hear anything that I personally heard. I think obviously it was just a little bit more of a disappointment, but a bit of relief that last goal was offside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, yeah, very true. And to be honest with you, looking at the game as well, I think we were very lucky to take that draw. Very, very lucky to take the draw. But guys, listen, any final thoughts before we wrap the show up?
Biggest positive, Jadon Sancho. Biggest positive for me from yesterday.
Yeah.
He's the best game he's had. This guy's going to be a star at Man United. I know all the rival fans are getting on his back. Even some of our fans are getting on his back, which I don't understand. So silly. You saw a glimpse of what this guy can do yesterday. He created, I think, 2 chances. He had a shot as well that he could have done better on, but he looks so exciting.
He looks brilliant, doesn't he?
I can't wait to see him develop.
I totally agree. And also, just to add to that, I thought Wan-Bissaka with a cross for Martial. It's nice to see him sort of raiding and delivering some balls across 6-yard box and that sort of thing. It was only one, but it's one more than what we've seen lately.
It's a positive. And we've been saying on the show for him and Luke Shaw to get up there, to get more crosses in. And I think that was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
Shah, you were going to say something?
I'm going to say the most positive thing that we can all look forward for after this international break is one man.
Rashford.
Yo! let me drop the
read you like a book.
You got me so excited. You got me so excited with that build-up.
He bumped you like Fred got bumped by Gray.
Listen,
I'm hoping.
We've all been waiting for it. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be at the key time. I think we're going to kick in right when we need to. And I'm very happy that he is going to be back.
Poor Trent.
Trent. Exactly. But the thing is, with it though, I still believe. The thing is, we're not sitting there. We're not saying we want Ole out of the club. We're not saying anything like that. We just want to see a better style of football. What Man United, what us fans deserve. But we got to give the manager the time to do what he's got to do to basically succeed. So all we need now to wait for is international break to finish. Rashi is back. We'll get that right. Rashi is back. And then we're going to have Rashi, and hopefully Ole will make the decision on playing Sancho on the right-hand side rather than sort of playing on the left. So Rashi on the left, Sancho on the right, and then we play against Liverpool on the 24th, and the rest is history. That's all it is. The rest is history.
I did put out a tweet today, and I did say that we should not put too much pressure on Rashford's return.
No, we can't. But it will be, though. It will be.
Because the issue will still be there. We will improve, of course, because Rashford can create wonders just doing his own, but the issues will still be there, and that's the way we play. So,
well, put it this way, guys. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. And also, if you're watching for the first time the Man United Agenda, we do go out and we do fan cam as well. So we will be at the Man United Liverpool game on the 24th. So you will see us there. Also, remember to hit that subscribe button to hit the 1K subscribers. At the moment, the road to 700 on Monday.
Yeah, just want to say, like we keep saying, the next 7 games, as Saul Connor just said, that we haven't played the top 6, but this is the challenge I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to this challenge to take on these top sides and see how we match up against them.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited about the season. And I've said, Amanda, you said it earlier. It's one of these ones where we've been so excited from the beginning of this new season to now, and we are going to get more and more excited because I think things will change. It will change. Something has to give. And I think the giving has to be, we go on and we hit the form and we literally take.
Basically said it can't get any worse.
Thank you. Exactly. It can't get any worse. But guys, Amanda, you want to hit the last few comments there, guys?
So Connor says, as a supporter of the club, what matters is the results. Is what the results are. 1-0 wins every game. I love them. Still wins us the league. If results start slipping, then questions can be asked. As long as we are winning, it's and Everton are more a top 6 side than Arsenal. Sancho, this is from Jem. Sancho will break through soon and be fire. Thank you, Jem.
100%.
Jem says, I'm excited to see Rash fired. A joke thing, all right, Rashford come back. We'll be fascinated to see how the gameplay changes. So it'll be the same. And hi there, Deep
Big up, new
Pant.
member. Big up, welcome.
Says, do you think Cavani should start with Ronaldo versus Leicester?
You know what?
4-4-2. I mean, no.
I would honestly, I'll blatantly say yes. Why not?
How are you going to fit that in? Going to throw out 12 men? See if we get away with it for the first 5-10 minutes.
I don't see that, to be honest. And we're away as well. I mean,
it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game against Leicester City.
Yeah.
It'll be a very tough game.
Two
But listen,
leaking goals. So
we're Man United, yeah. We fear no one. That's it. We fear no one. Simple as. No matter how bad we are playing, we fear no one. Talk says.
Gonna argue that.
That's how he thinks. That's how Talk thinks we can play. That's a diamond, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
Then
how he thinks we can play the two up front.
fit.
But then you sacrifice Sancho and Greenwood and these guys up.
Greenwood, you'd have to. I reckon you sacrifice Greenwood and bring Greenwood as a sub.
For playing up front.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. If we're not a master of our own formation, why are we going to start playing new formations just yet?
That's what I'm saying. 4-3-3, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But guys, listen, it's always a pleasure. We will be back tomorrow night to discuss a few rumors that circulate in the Manchester United at the moment, but we'll be back. We'll be bringing a show every day this week to you as well. So please tune in to the Man United Agenda. Like, share, subscribe. We're on the road now to 700 subscribers. Once we hit 1K subscribers, we'll be giving you the chance to win yourself a Bruno Fernandes signed shirt. So as always, on Monday, Mr. B, Talk, and Shah. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Oh God, sorry.
I can be Talk. I can represent Talk.
Yeah, you can. Guys, it's a pleasure. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.